Welcome to my wealthy YouTube influencer apartment tour. As we walk in here the front door, we are greeted by a space that women belong in. That's right, indoors. Women belong in a safe shelter. No woman should be homeless. That is a stance of the Foolish Baseball channel. Women should be indoors. No homeless women. That is a stance that I can truly believe in. As you can see, I just kind of have some boxes. I'm just a guy that kind of has some boxes. And every time I've walked past these boxes, I think to myself, why am I this way? Why can't I just go get these recycled? You know, it's not that hard to do. And yet here they are. So there's my boxes. This is my hand truck right here. The first thing I'd really like to bring to your attention here is the artwork of John Battleghazi. John Battleghazi, I love his artwork so much. I bought 3 prints from him. This right here is Ichiro. This right here is Larry Walker. And this Larry Walker print that I purchased from him, which he was very helpful, by the way. Great guy. Loved talking to him. 12 out of 50. So this is a limited run. Larry Walker with the Expos. And then Henry Aaron. And combined, these 3, I call this area of my apartment right field. I know. Very original, very original. In this box, I have baseball cards. And I would love to show that to you all in one video. I have some others that will come, before the end of the season or at least the end of the year. So I'll definitely do a big baseball card collection video. I have this left. I've left this one for you all to see at the very least. Jeff Mathis, rookie auto, Topps 52. There you go. This card is worth about $300,000. And I'll leave it at that. These plants are fake. Speaking of plants, I want to bring to your attention this corner right here. And maybe we can just start a poll in the comments. Let me know. Because this corner is really the only part of the apartment that I haven't quite figured out what I want to do with it. Okay? And to me, there's 2 choices. At the age of 25, I have to decide whether I'm a plant guy or a vinyl guy. So I could either put a really big plant up here, okay? It's mostly indirect sunlight right here. Or I could get a record player, I could get some LPs, I could get some EPs, and I could be a vinyl guy. So crisis of identity, I'm almost 26, and I need to decide, which type of guy am I? Am I a plant guy or am I a vinyl guy? Or possibly both. Sound off in the comments below. This right here is where I watch quite a bit of the games. A lot of the out-of-market games especially I'll watch here, or if I'm watching, MLB Network or something like that. But some of you on Twitter in the past have lampooned me for the size of my television. This is a 42-inch television. And, 55 may be ideal. 55 may be ideal, but 42 is what I got. So get over it, people. Here's my bookshelf right here, and when I purchased this bookshelf, I either thought that I was more well-read than I actually am, or I just maybe thought I had, more books to display at the moment. I have filled it out to some extent, but a big goal of mine, particularly for this coming off season, while I have, where I will have more downtime, would be to read more, and then my second goal during the off season when I have more downtime would be to actually brush up on my German skills. And I think I might actually have a German grammar book up there. But yeah, here's some books. Here's a couple baseball prospectus annuals. I wrote the essay for the Texas Rangers in this one, but I only have these 2, but I actually have one from way back in 2007 somewhere. And so, I've been a reader of BP for a while. Here's some more books right here for you to look at and judge me. Here's Henry Aaron baseball card. Here is Freddie Freeman. Here is Ronald Acuna Jr. And here is Dansby Swanson. So there's just some Braves players that I've put on display. And then these are not really all the baseball books I have or all the baseball books I've read, but just, all the ones I could just kind of dig up and thought to myself, maybe I would put those on a bookshelf. And, some of my favorite baseball books are on here. And, I look at it, and I have 2 copies of Vec as in Rec. And I must say, I don't know how that's happened. Perhaps I lost one and then purchased another copy and then found the old one. That's probably the most common way you end up with 2 copies of the same book. But I must say, if there's any book that I'm glad that I paid for twice, it's Vec as in Rec. Terrific memoir. Or I guess is it a memoir or is it an autobiography? It mostly talks about Bill Veck's time as an owner. But it's a fantastic book either way. I would highly recommend it. I've got some soccer right here. To me, these three are perhaps the holy trinity of soccer books. If you have any interest in soccer, check these out. Soccernomics is phenomenal. The economics of European soccer have changed a bit, just in terms of the amount of money in the sport since it was published, but it's still phenomenal. Inverting the Pyramid's great. Ball is Round is really good, but I find it a bit dry. So I definitely have had to power through that one. The other two, Soccernomics, I read that in like a day. I've got some hats here. This is a Foolish Baseball dad cap. You can find it on John Boy's store. Link in the description. I'm not sure if I mentioned, I'll also link John Balgazzi's artwork in the description as well. This is my hat that I wear if I want to be a stooge for Major League Baseball, and I want to say, hey, maybe those minor leaguers, if anything, should be making less money. That's what I wear when I want to be a stooge for MLB. It's an umpire's hat, technically. Cleveland Spiders, and then Braves throwback. And then I have some Braves bobbleheads right here. Most of these are a few years old, not the most super recent ones. And then right here I have Alex Trebek. Tell me in the comments, is this one called a Funko Pop or is it an Amiibo? I'm not really sure. If it is a Funko Pop, I am soy-facing right now. Keep that in mind. So right here I have Alex Trebek of Jeopardy! And I also have Jesus of Nazareth. And those two institutions, to me are very important. So we're going to move on right here to the bedroom. And as I walk in, you can see that this is where the magic happens. Not specifically here, more so here. This is where I make the videos. And as you can see, one thing I'm considering is perhaps adding a second monitor to the mix. Maybe that would be a smart thing for me to do. It's also, kind of tough because I have this giant mouse mat that I use, when I'm fragging noobs in Counter-Strike. I haven't played that game in like 8 or 9 months, so, but at some point I will play it again, and I will need my giant mouse mat. Until then, I can also use it as a second blanket in case it gets too cold. This is my Elgato Wave mic. It's terrific. It's the best USB mic I've used, and I've used 3 or 4 of them at this point. But this one's fantastic. So shout out to Elgato for that. This is also Elgato. This is their key light. And then this, which I keep under my bed unless it's in use, but look at how foldy and collapsible it is. This is actually their green screen, believe it or not. So, and then here's Paddington. Paddington 2, according to Rotten Tomatoes, the greatest film ever made. I agree 100%. This is my PC setup. Considering switching over to Mac, my next purchase in terms of electronics, I am considering, if I want to move some of my creative work over to the Mac platform, because I tell you what, that M1 MacBook zooms, that baby goes. So I don't know yet. Sony Vegas, which is my main editing program, is not available on iOS. Why is my... Okay. And then, so that's good. And then, to those of you who care about computer specs, AMD Ryzen 7 2700X, RX 580, and 16 gigs of RAM. I also have this USB gamepad that I've been using more often, mainly to die in the game Dark Souls Remastered. That's my biggest usage for this gamepad, is to die in the game Dark Souls Remastered. I'll also point out, while I'm sort of going over my workspace, my Steelcase Leap V2 office chair, which I just got maybe about a month ago. I can't quite remember, but I would say to anyone who's working from home, highly consider investing in a serious office chair, because I'll tell you what, I haven't had this for too long, but it has, made an improvement in my life. My posture feels a lot better, and it's just terrific. Herman Miller is also a pretty common brand to look into, but yeah, you can get a lot of these office chairs which would retail for, $1,000, $1,200. I got this refurbished for like $300 or $350, so it is doable depending on how much you want to invest. And even then, if you want something cheaper than that that's new, the IKEA Marcus chair isn't bad. And then, yeah, this right here, this is where the magic theoretically would happen. But as you all know, let's be honest, the magic happens here. This is where you make videos about Tim LaCastro and Rod Barajas. Now, as you can see, I have my blinds closed. And the reason for that is I don't want to show you all where I live. I can tell you I live in Atlanta, but I feel like if I just, showed you my balcony right here, which is a huge flex that I have a balcony, an enormous flex that I have a balcony, you might be able to figure out where I live. So I don't want you to do that, mostly because I don't want you to show up to where I live and either tell me that you love me or tell me that you don't love me. In fact, you don't love me at all. Emotionally, I'm not mature enough to deal with either of those. So if you see me in public, particularly around Atlanta, particularly, around the ballpark, my suggestion would be, don't look at me, don't look me in the eye, and just stare straight ahead. I'm like a timid little animal. I have some players right here, some real old-timey players. Nap Lajoie, Tris Speaker, who I'm pretty sure was super racist. Rube Waddle, everyone loves that guy. What a character. I also had a Walter Johnson. It got damaged. And as a fact, you can also see that Tris Speaker, his frame is a little bit damaged. But yeah, I used to have 4. Now I have 3. It's okay. It just kind of fits the space. To those of you that ever doubted that I played for the Braves in 2001, eat your hearts out. There you go. Braves, 2001. There I am. And look at this guy. You're telling me with the speed, the versatility, the discipline, the defense, you're telling me this guy wouldn't be a 3 to 4 WAR player, annually in this league. I mean, I'm Cronenworth light, I'm Zobrist light, I'm everywhere. I also have this, which is a physical recreation of the pixel art I made for the Justin Verlander video, and it is absolutely spot on. My pixel art has improved quite a bit since then, thankfully, because it is a little bit nightmarish, but in terms of the recreation, which was done by my sister, I mean, it is spot on. It is 1-to-1. Absolutely terrific work. Love it. This is one of those things that I'm just glad I have, but it's a gift. I can't really sell this stuff because, it's an MLBPA thing. It's a licensing issue. I can't profit off a player's license like that, but I'm glad I have it. This right here is the bathroom. Hi. And believe it or not, this right here is where I poo-poo and I tinkle. Those are my main activities, poo-poo, tinkle, and then the shower's right here. This is where I wash my amazing body, like a Greek statue. That's what I look like in the shower, in case you were wondering. I also would like to point out, I do have a little bit more artwork that isn't baseball related. This is a original Rembrandt, and I paid $3.2 million for this at auction. And yeah, that's where most of my ad revenue has gone. It's been that, and it's also been, Jeff Mathis baseball cards. So I hope you all enjoyed the tour. My goal, if I continue to grow on YouTube, my goal is, just to move up in the world. And I've started today with my, 1-bedroom apartment, relatively small in Atlanta. And, where I want to move next is probably a castle. A castle in Central Europe with a moat. So, yeah, just watch the videos, enjoy them, and then, maybe my next tour will be of a castle in Central Europe with a moat and some alligators.